Here is now Hanishmat, there was a lot of people. All of a sudden, he comes all of them. Or is it the afternoon shift taking over? No, I think I was not really also. People won't stay back. So I think I should probably come back and stay.
Mute yourself.
Login they would have used for Zoom login. Just change it as admin.
Hello. Yeah. Okay.
यहीं पर आप mute भी
So
बना
I can. ठीक है.
You will be showing only the screen. आपको कुछ और नहीं दिखेगा.
But I'll see the main things.
Main thing over there.
Yeah.
How it is.
Hi Shri, morning. Yeah.
Sir, if you want to switch off your webcam,
yeah,
just let us know.
No, get my webcam. No, it should be webcam.
If you are say you are thinking of closing it off a little bit.
No, that I can stop. Sini has got up the whole night. He hasn't slept. Yeah. Hi Shri, morning. Yeah.
Morning. How are you?
A Q sheet, sort of. Just minute by minute. Yeah.
No problem. I'll just get some coffee. I'll leave you guys.
This time there's quite a lot of it. 20 minutes or so. More.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hello, good morning, afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah. So let these technical tech check guys do it. We go live exactly at 5. Yeah.
Okay, Srini,
Shini is gone for making his coffee.
oh, 3:30 for him.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Bhai has joined. Alok is there. Shini is gone for his coffee. And yeah. Morning. Good afternoon.
So, is there any dress code?
Good.
So, you want me to bring a coat?
You are in a cold country.
ঠিক আছে তাহলে একটা নিয়ে আসবো?
একটু পরে নাও না।
Okay, আসছি এক্ষুনি।
Hi, Shrini. Morning. Morning, ma'am. Shini, can you do a check of your presentation?
Srini?
Shini is getting his
He
coffee.
must have gone for coffee.
I just wanted him to do a check.
No, I spoke with him. Actually, he got little miscalculated on time. So he said he's waiting. I said, no, you are early. So,
Yeah. No, he's just.
I informed him actually.
Yeah.
We are waiting from EcoD and Cumulus. You are on mute. Surajit, you're on mute.
Yeah.
I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am.
How are you?
Yeah. So I hope we start on time.
Yes, very much.
Oh, okay. Fine. My connectivity is slightly poor. In any case, I get disconnected. Can you carry on? Okay. Yeah.
Sure. Ma'am. Yes.
Srini? So is there any way we can send a message to Cumulus and EcoD? Actually, there is still time. They may just come on time. We'll start anyway at 5 o'clock sharp. You're on mute. I think you keep unmute for some time.
No, there are a lot of checks going on for some time. So.
Okay. Hi, Jonathan. How are you? Good morning.
I am well. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Jonathan. Very early in the morning. You have
Okay.
been there the whole day in earlier. So thank you very much for being there.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
Oh, you were there in the previous one?
Yes.
All right. Yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Yesterday. Yes, it was last night.
Last night. Okay. Yeah, for you it is night, for us yesterday time.
It's 5 p.m. for you right now?
It's going to be 5 p.m. It's 4:54. 5
Oh,
minutes
so
to.
sorry. Yeah, so sorry. I wasn't there yesterday for you. I was actually there this morning for you at 10:30.
Okay, all right.
Right.
So Srini, Alok has joined. You have joined now. Cumulus, we are waiting to.
Yeah, I've sent a ping to Aya to tell Mariana to do.
Alok.
All right.
All
Good
right.
morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just water. I'm gonna go back to sleep after this.
Oh.
Can you just share your presentation, then switch it off to know that there are no issues? Yeah,
Who? Me?
yeah. Just as a technical check.
Hi, Hemant.
Hi,
Good to see you again.
good. Good to see you too. Hi,
Hi, Hemant.
hi, hi, Srini.
Good afternoon, everyone. How can I help?
Yes, Alok. You are now in good backdrop.
Hi, everyone. Srini and Jonathan, middle of
Good
the night for
morning.
you guys.
Aja.
Can you see the screen?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Hey, Srini,
Your voice is
Nacho.
cracking, Srini.
Huh? What's that? Rajivina, did you say something?
I said that your voice was cracking. Now it's okay.
All right. Okay.
Rajivna, can you hear me?
Yes, very well. I
Okay,
can
good.
see you, I can hear you, and the backdrop is looking very nice.
EDW, huh?
Pradumna Bhai,
Yes.
Anju ma'am is not joining. So we'll start with Dr. Guru Prasad.
So now how is the schedule like? You are going to invite him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the little bit of whatever I have to say. And then I'll invite him, read out whatever salutation, and then take it forward. The keynote, and then then we get into the real panel.
Okay.
So we have time.
Yes.
Hey,
Then
Harish.
Yeah. I have sent a ping to Aya to see if Mariana can come. We've still got about 3-4 minutes.
yes.
So
Hi, Harish.
do we share screens or not at all?
We will.
Okay.
We want the screens are available, and we just tested it.
Let me just check once. It's visible, right?
Yep.
It's visible?
Wonderful. Who is the president, Alok, now?
It's gonna change tonight.
Till now, Brenda, is it?
It is visible.
No, Brenda is the managing director. She's not the president.
Yeah. So Brenda is the executive director. The current president is Kevin Bedelman, but he's outgoing tonight. And there will be a new one.
So already 1 year over, huh? Look.
Yeah.
Wow.
The term is only for a year or what?
Normally 2 years, but we were in a transition.
Hi, Mariana. Good morning to you.
Yeah.
You're on mute. Mute.
Wonderful to join you. Thank
Good
you.
morning, Dr. Mariana. We have some time. Can you just try your presentation once for us to do a technical check here?
Yes.
Wow, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think we're fine.
Yeah, it's good to go. Very nice.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Surojit, have you got connected with Dr. Mahapatra's office?
I'm waiting. I've sent it to someone to check in. Yeah.
Good evening, one and all. We now come on to the last session of the day, the Grand Industry Town Hall. The Town Hall is an illustrious panel of eminent personalities from the design industry. I'd like to invite our beloved director, Colonel Surojit Bose, Director Academics, Administration and International Collaborations, United World Institute of Design, Mariana University, to take the panel forward.
Thank you, Harish. What a pleasure. And what a galaxy of speakers who nearly transcend the entire world of design to be on the same panel at the Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0. I welcome you all to where the most awaited, and it's exactly in the center of the 5 days that we have been able to get such a panel for the Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0. And it'll be an understatement not to give full credit to Madam Anju Sharma, Principal Secretary, Higher and Technical Education, Education Department, Government of Gujarat. She has been a real power behind getting the entire thing working for the last 3 months. And if you see the scale up, Srini was here, Alok was here between Ahmedabad Design Week 1 and the Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0. In case there have been so many additions from the government, from the MSME, CII, and all due credit goes to Madam Anju Sharma. I would like to take a little bit time to just give certain amount before I introduce her, and she takes the lead in giving her perspective to the Ahmedabad Design Week. Today's town hall is about the role of toys, and if I may say, it is the high point, raison d'etre for the entire ADW. The large number of topics have been covered, will be covered. We have a school town hall tomorrow. And from the thought behind the industry town hall also came from Anjuman. And therefore we could gather people, and it's the credit to the government of Gujarat and the credit to all you thought leaders from the entire world, the presidents of some of the most prestigious associations of design, from WDO, Shrini, Hemant, the ADI, that's the Association of Designers, India, Jonathan, who did a session in the morning, and I think he's been awake. So we have got the world in many ways. Shrini, 330, California. Jonathan from Vancouver. Alok from Brussels. We have Aya from Finland. And we have our own Pradumna, ma'am, and myself, and Hemant from here. Just to give a little bit context that some of you missed our chief guest at the inaugural. So some of the points which were brought out by Madam Anju Sharma and Dr. Mashelkar, the importance and the impact of toys being a tactile experience, more at a childhood and all the way to adulthood. The psychological and the psychomotor and the cognitive development from early childhood. Easy availability has made it within the reach, and with such a lot of toys coming with certain unsustainable material, there's a problem in our hands. And how do we move it to more sustainable areas like wood, bamboo, natural fibers? And what we are looking at the end of this is to get some sort of a roadmap to scale up, as toying with design has been inspired by the clarion call of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, through policies and programs, vocal for local or localization vision, emphasizing the self-reliance and Atmanirbhar for a new resurgent, new India of tomorrow. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Ms. Anju Sharma, a member of the prestigious Indian Administrative Service and has been serving in the Government of India as senior leadership positions for nearly 26 years. She has received several awards, like the Prime Minister's Award for Administrative Excellence for implementing the sickle cell anemia control program in the state in 2011, Individual Contribution Award for Health Insurance Scheme, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana in 2011, a NASSCOM Social Innovation Leaders Award, National E-Governance Award, E-World Award for the project E-Mamta MCTS in 2012, and the India Tech Award for the project E-Mamta 2012. She has authored 2 books, Eye of the Storm and Discover Your True Self, The Cooperative Monk, A Journey from Wealth to Wisdom. She has been the power, and she has lent full support through what she leads as the startup iHub from that's part, and her entire journey of being so much to make this happen. Over to Anju ma'am to lead the ADW.
Thank you, Colonel Bose. Eminent gentlemen on the panel and ladies, all the audience. It's indeed a matter of great privilege for me to be here today in this industry town hall and to be a part of the Ahmedabad Design Week. The idea behind Ahmedabad Design Week is to bring together all the people from the industry, the design institutes, experts, and everyone who is connected to design to deliberate on various things and to give a new, entirely different direction to the process of design. As we all know, that things are very dynamic in the current world, and we have to keep on evolving from day to day. And for this, design becomes very important. But at the same time, our design philosophies have to be a good blend of the traditional with the modern. And we also have to keep in mind that it serves the ultimate welfare of the people. Keeping this in mind and keeping the fact that our Honorable PM is laying special emphasis on the toy development of the toy industry, which has about a $5 billion market internationally, of which India has a very minuscule share, though India happens to be a very big demand creator for the toys and a very big place. We thought that it would be a good idea this time, in the second edition of the Ahmedabad Design Week, to have a very keen involvement of the industry along with the designers in discussing the theme of toys. I would also here would like to put on record the immense support that was given by Shrima Patraji, our Secretary of Department of Promotion of Industries from the Government of India, who has been taking or who's been playing the lead role in the development of the entire the time is now ripe that the design fraternity as a whole, this theme of designing toys for India, and considers it as an important priority, and that they could give due importance to the toy sector and do not just delegate it to the designers from US or China or whatsoever. Because now we're not going to tolerate that our own toys are imported to us, our own, and therefore we have to enter into both mass production and class production that are already existing, and the class production toys for those who look for variety, who look for novelty, who have paying capacity, but who are looking for something different aspects of the market. One, the design people have to play a very important role. Now, the industry has to gear up, because in India, the toy market, the toy sector has been dominated by a few multinationals who have been sourcing toys from various places outside India. We can develop capacities so that they source from within India itself, and also we develop our domestic capacities. So I consider today's industry town hall is a very important part of the entire Ahmedabad Design Week, and I would request that on this platform, the various industrialists, the various people from the industry, CII and other people, they should discuss how more actively industry and academia and design fraternity can work together for the development of innovative toy sector in the country. And I wish you all very good luck for the deliberations. Thank you very much for giving me a patient hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. It's really a call to action, as we say. Thank you very much. During some time, we'll be joined by Dr. Guru Prasad Mahapatra, IAS Secretary, Department of Promotion for Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Just to take it forward, today's town hall shall touch upon a spectrum of topics from traditional toys to new emerging technologies, reflecting upon our toy crafts in India and the policies and programs like the Vocal for Local, as per the clarion call of our Prime Minister. We shall explore both the local and global opportunities in toy design from the perspective of society, policymakers, academia, industry, culture, and role of designers, and the impact of toys on society.
So, sorry to intervene, Dr. Mahapatra will join at 5:30.
Okay.
So we can have some more talk before he joins.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So so while a number of associations of the world, Cumulus, WDO, others who are in the panel have joined, Pradyumna Vyas, former director, National Institute of Design, and an ex officio of then the member secretary of the India Design Council, a senior advisor in CII, and a board member of World Design Organization, will be moderating the whole session. And he has the way of talking from the point of a designer. His nearly 25, 26 years from being a practitioner, from being a leader of design in some sort, will be a very valuable contribution where he'll be able to elicit from all the speakers and the panelists. And later, he will be concluding the session as well as the number of questions, because as I said, that this is really the industry town hall is nearly the pièce de résistance of the entire Ahmedabad Design Week. We would like you to come up so that in some sort, there is a roadmap created at the end of the day from various perspectives, majorly both national and global. Till the Secretary DPIIT joins, can I request Pradyumna Vyas to start and give his perspective. In between, Anahita can just read out the salutations of Pradyumna.
Good evening, everyone. Professor Pradyumna Vyas is an industrial designer, a highly experienced academician, and the former director of the National Institute of Design in India. Currently, he is a senior advisor of design promotion and innovation at the Confederation of Indian Industry, India's premier industry association, and a board of director of the World Design Organization. Professor Vyas has been at the helm of design affairs, and his illustrious career has been marked with several national and international milestones and accolades. His contribution in the formation of India Design Council 2009 was marked by Professor Vyas being nominated as its first member secretary by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Through the India Design Council, he launched the India Design Mark in association with Japan Institute of Design Promotion on the lines of GMARC. He has been conferred with multiple awards in recognition for his contributions to design education and promotion, like World Education Conference 2015 awarded him for his outstanding contribution to education. He was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Times Education Icon 2017 and also served as a jury member for the Special Awards Screening Panel at Good Design Awards by the Japan Institute of Design Promotion, consequently from 2012 to 2016. In 2019, he has been awarded the honor of Good Design Fellow by the Japan Institute of Design Promotion, Tokyo. Professor Vyas was appointed as a distinguished professor of the Shanghai Academy of Fine Arts in China and the Shanghai Global Design Summit. Over to you, Pradyumna sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anita.
Pradyumna sir, just give me a minute. Let me have an introduction because Dr. Mahapatra is joining us at 5:30.
All right.
So it will be only if I can introduce all the panelists because of all. So it is my great pleasure to introduce and welcome Dr. Mariana Amatula, President of Cumulus Association.
A pleasure to join this esteemed panel. Thank you.
Dr. Mariana is a practitioner, scholar, design researcher, strategist, educator, and author. She is the Associate Professor at Parsons School of Design and Vice Provost for Global Strategic Initiatives at the New School, New York. She is the President of Cumulus, the International Association of Universities and Colleges of Art, Design, and Media. Dr. Mariana co-founded and led the award-winning Social Innovation Department, Design Matters, at the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. Dr. Mariana brings almost 2 decades of expertise managing a portfolio of international and national education projects, research initiatives, and publications at the intersection of design, design management, and social innovation. Her research focuses on the value of design in organizational transformation. Dr. Mariana lectures internationally about design and social innovation and serves on a variety of executive and advisory boards in design and arts. She is the recipient of the inaugural 2012 Dell Social Innovation Award for Outstanding Social Innovation Education, a Salzburg Global Fellow, a Fellow with the Royal Society of the Arts, and a Scholar in Residence at the Weatherhead School of Management, Case Western Reserve University. Dr. Mariana is the lead editor of Leap Dialogues. She holds a PhD in Management from Case Western Reserve University an MA in Art History and Museum Studies from the University of Southern California, and a licence and letter degree from the Sorbonne University in Paris, where she also studied art history. Welcome, Dr. Mariana.
Let us join in thanking Dr. Mariana for joining us so early from New York. I wish to welcome Hemant Suthar, an illustrious alumni of National Institute of Design and the president of the Association of Designers, India.
Dr. Hemant Suthar is a true design enthusiast. He loves to keep up with everything happening in the design world, be it graphics, interaction design, or architecture. A graduate from the National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, he founded Fractal Inc., one of India's largest experience design studios, back in 1997. Fractal Inc. has won many accolades: Best User Experience Design Studio in the country by Pool Magazine, acknowledgement by Microsoft as User Experience Champions, and multiple awards for other apps. He co-founded the Mumbai chapter of the Association of Designers of India and takes a keen interest in design education in his endeavor to give back to design. Welcome, Hemant, sir.
It's my pleasure to welcome Jonathan Strelby, the president of ICOGA.
Mr. Strelby brings decades of experience and involvement in the applied arts, encouraging growth and change in creative industries, challenging and contributing to the contemporary fabric of design today and tomorrow. He founded the brand strategy and communications agency, the Notice Group, in 2000, is the former director of creative services for HCMA Architecture and Design, past president of the Graphic Designers of Canada, previous GDC National Ethics Chair, and past presidents of the Vancouver chapter of the Canadian Association of Professional Image Creators. He was also a founding committee member, organizer, and co-host for Creative Mornings Vancouver. Currently, he is contributing his experience in advocacy, diplomacy, intergovernmental, organizational, and departmental relations as the Chief of Staff for the Squamish Nation, the largest First Nation in the province of British Columbia, Canada. Welcome, Mr. Strelby.
Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us. Our next welcome goes out to Alok Nandi, the past president of IXTA.
Mr. Alok Nandi is a designer, creative director, design strategist, writer-director who explores conflicting constraints in evolving and hybrid context via his design agency, Architempo. He is dealing with storytelling in multiple media, space, and technologies. His company explores the multiple dimensions of design, from interactive solutions to pan-European strategic campaigns, from exhibitions at the Red Dot Design Museum, Saint-Etienne Design Biennale, to intervention and conferences. Mr. Nandi is a regular jury member in the startups world, in new media and cinema, as well as a visiting professor in design schools and MBA programs. He is a regular speaker at platforms like Interactive Friction in Los Angeles, DAC in Georgia Tech and in Bergen, Norway, and Code in Cambridge, amongst others. He has exhibited at Cannes, Paris, London, Salzburg, and Vienna, to name a few. His previous professional experience includes brand management at Procter & Gamble, film production, exhibition design, and new media in publishing. Welcome, Mr. Nandi.
Welcome, Alok.
Thank you.
It is never the last or the least for introducing and welcoming Srini Srinivasan, the president of World Design Organization, and the CEO of Lumium, company he has in Ahmedabad, as also in California.
Hi.
Hello, sir. Mr. Srini Srinivasan is the president of the World Design Organization, working with its global members to promote design for a better world. He is also the chairman and CEO of Lumium Designs, a creative product design company based in California that focuses on new product development for medical devices, consumer electronics, mobile accessories, and consumer goods. Previously, he led and managed multicultural, multidisciplinary product design teams that delivered world-class award-winning products in the telecom and wireless domains. He has a wide spectrum of technology and business background in instrumentation, consumer electronics, telecom, and wireless equipment. He's very passionate about product design and usability. His design thinking comes from keen observation and use of good and poor products, personal gadgets, and user experiences. Mr. Srinivasan served on the panel of innovation judges for CES 2012 and other industry events and ran non-profit programs. He has studied at the Indian Institute of Technology in Chennai and the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He attended an executive education program at the Haas Business School, University of California at Berkeley. Welcome, Srini, sir.
Thank you, Shri.
Thank you.
I would just like to say
Nice
that
to meet. Nice.
no global event is complete without the Secretary General of Cumulus, Aija from Finland. Thank you very much for joining us. Can I now ask Pradyumna to set the tone of and in between once the Secretary joins us and then continue thereafter. But I would like him as a senior advisor of CII, and we have got the Ministry of MSME, we have the industry, we have the education, and a great academia and industry mix amongst us. Over to you, Pradyumna, to set the tone of the town hall.
Thank you, Colonel Bose. First of all, my heartiest compliments to Karnavati University and UID, who and especially Colonel Bose and his team, they're tirelessly working. And it's such a proud moment to see that entire world's design fraternity, the presidents are there on a single screen. I think it's one of the most powerful design screen sharing I have seen, where WDO to EcoD to your EcoD and ADI and Cumulus design, all are there sharing this screen, and Alok is there, UX design, which he is representing. So I would say that I don't know how many thousands designers all these presidents are representing, and in true sense, it's a very, very powerful panel in my view. Now, the topic which has been taken for this this time in Ahmedabad Design Week, I think is very, very pertinent, relevant. And somehow, while designers are working in lots of game designing on world over, there's too much of a screen has happened to children. And somewhere one is really looking into that. That secretary is going to come, so you can stop me, I think.
I'll stop you at the right time, sir. It's still some time for it. Another moment.
So I think Dr. Mahapatra is there. So we'll stop here now, and then afterwards we'll continue. Good evening, Dr. Mahapatra.
Good evening, Dr. Vyas. It's a pleasure to see you after a long time.
Yes, same here, sir. We were eagerly waiting.
Look the same as if you are the looks I remember from 2015.
Thank you, sir.
In that way, my best wishes to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Dr. Mahapatra. This is Colonel Bose, Director Academics and International Collaborations from United World Institute of Design, a constituent college of Karnavati University and the host of ADW 2.0. It's on behalf of our president, our provost, and the entire team which has worked tirelessly for ADW, we welcome you to this forum and the ADW Industrial Town Hall.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Mahapatra is the secretary in the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. His unparalleled administrative capability and remarkable sense of service has elevated him to hold top portfolios like the Municipal Commissioner of Surat, Municipal Commissioner of Ahmedabad, Chairman of Airports Authority of India, and Joint Secretary in the Department of Commerce, Government of India. His contribution towards infrastructure development is immeasurable, as also in various sectors, including the urban development, power sector, and other industries have been invaluable. Dr. Mahapatra is delivering the keynote of the Industrial Town Hall ADW 2.0. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Do you want me to speak now, or Anju Sharma madam is also around?
Yeah, she's delivered her speech, and because of certain connectivity issues, she will join after some time. We would like you to.
Okay.
And she's joined.
Thank you so much, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be a part of this National Toy Innovative Symposium today, being organized by iHub, by the Department of Education in Government of Gujarat. It is always a pleasure to be associated with anything happening in Gujarat, and definitely something of such great national importance, which is associated with the toy industry. As you know, that the whole focus on the toy industry started with the Honorable Prime Minister address through his very eagerly awaited Man Ki Baat deliberations in August 2020, where he gave a lot of stress on the importance of toy manufacturing as a major sector, where India has potential of becoming a global sourcing hub. Our minuscule share in the global toy market at present is indeed very unfortunate, considering the size of the country, the sheer talent pool available in the country, both in designing, manufacturing, and the skills of the people workforce. And we require coordinated efforts to be undertaken to boost toy manufacturing in India, to improve the global market share in line with the theme of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and get vocal for local campaigns, which the Honorable PM has been talking about, and the Government of India, along with the state governments, particularly state of Gujarat, has been working with. The toy industry indeed has great potential in the Indian economy. The industry, while in its nascent stage, has the potential to see an exponential demand driven by the young and growing population of India. In fact, till the group of ministers led by the Honorable Textiles Minister did that presentation before the Honorable Prime Minister, though we deal with the regulatory issues of toy industry in our ministry regarding allowing how much of imports to be allowed, how to be allowed and all, I didn't realize toy is such a major sector. We all played with toys as children, but that was long back. But when I look at the industry, the potential and all, I realize the tremendous potential that is there in the industry. Different kinds of toys, the handicrafted toys, the GI toys, the non-GI, geographical indicator recognized toys, the modern engineering toys, the kind of toys that are meant for both genders, boys and girls of different age groups, the sheer importance of toys in education and learning, in developing the value systems of the country, in shaping the value systems of the country. So the potential is tremendous. Currently, our manufacturing facilities do not manufacture toys in the quantities in all the toy categories to meet the demand of the Indian market. The Indian toys market comprises around 85% of imports. So while 15% of this requirement is only met by the domestic manufacturers. We passed a quality control order to improve the domestic manufacturing quality as well as the quality of toys imported from outside. The reason for doing this quality control order was to raise the quality of the Indian manufacturing to bring it at par with the best in the world. So the major objective is to develop mega toy and game clusters, to create world-class infrastructure and to integrate the production chain in a manner that caters to the business needs of the toy and game industry, and to create a domestic market and export. We are, through the Department of Ministry of Small and Industries, MSME, we just had a whole day long deliberations with some of the leading states of the country, where there is a financial scheme available in the MSME ministry to promote toy clusters in various states. We expect around 8 to 9 such toy clusters to be approved and announced in various state governments. One major activity that we are doing is to look at the design of toys. That is where some of the greats who have assembled here today, and Mr. Pradyumna Vyas, and our relationship goes into several years now, since my years in the Municipal Corporation of Ahmedabad. And I know what NID has been doing and all the design institutes. I'm so happy to know that Karnavati University has also such a reputed institution which has come up. Whole idea is to focus on the designs, and these iHubs and the hackathons that they are doing through the Education Ministry, they will go a long way in helping us coming out with innovative designs, domestically generated ideas. And in this, one big thing that I want to bring to a notice is that we are proposing a national toy fair, all virtual, starting from the 27th of February. Already 1,100 leading manufacturers and sellers of toys, they have registered for participating in this toy fair. It's a 5-day fair. And this will be visited by lakhs and lakhs of school children and their parents. There will be B2C, of course, transactions that will happen because children, once they visit, they will buy toys. We as parents or grandparents or uncles or aunts or whatever our relationship with those tiny tots, will of course help them buy things. But that forum will bring a lot of B2B exchange opportunities also. A lot of leading experts of toys, a lot of leading manufacturers of toys globally will participate in that. So I would request through this forum today that let there be a lot of focus on design. Let there be a lot of focus on manufacturing facilities. Let there be a lot of focus on facilitating manufacturing and design activities, both by the state government and the central government. And let there be tremendous participation in the toy fair that is being planned from the 27th. I will not take any more time at this stage. I would rather like to listen to the deliberation that will happen after I conclude. My sincere thanks to all of you, particularly to the Education Department of Government of Gujarat for organizing this, giving us our department an opportunity to partner with this and to recognize the tremendous importance of this activity in promoting the toy agenda in the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohapatra, for such an insightful way in which we need to develop. Can I request Madam Anju Sharma to say a few words before I move on to Pradumna?
Dr. Mahapatra, sir, and all the people from the industry, people from the design institutions, expert designers, all are present here. So it's been a great pleasure, sir, hearing you. And your presence has inspired the entire industry and the design fraternity to work for the toy sector and explore newer dimensions. And we assure you that the entire design academia as well as the design fraternity will work hand in hand with you in your efforts to develop the toy sector in India. Thank you, sir. Thanks for addressing us and being with us in this panel, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Anju. Thank you so much.
Can I now request Pradumna Vyas, the former director of NID and a senior advisor of CII, to lead this CII-led forum on toying with design and the way forward.
Thank you, Colonel Bose. It's always pleasure to hear Dr. Mahapatra and his vision. And as you know, that DPIIT is spearheading the NIDs, all 5 NIDs in India Design Council. So he is also the person who is taking forward the design agenda in the country. And Madam Anju Sharma ji, who is connecting the education with industry on various fronts. Dr. Mahapatra, I'm really honored to have you on this screen, sharing with you. The eminent personalities are there who are president of various design organization. The World Design Organization, Srini Srinivasan, he's the president of one of the oldest design organization. From communication design side, Mr. Jonathan, who is looking after the communication design activities, and is the president of ECOD. Dr. Mariana, she's from US. She's heading the Cumulus design, which is a design educational looking, all world education institutes are the member of that. And Alok Nandi from Brazil, so he is looking into interaction design related activity, and our own Hemant Sutar, the Association of Designers of India, which is the body which is looking into all design fraternity in India, and Ija from Finland, she's the secretary head with long association of design education institutions in the world. So indeed, this is a great pleasure to have all of you to discuss about, especially focusing the industry and academia and design. And when we are talking about design, I think as Dr. Mahapatra mentioned, that design is very, very important to improve the quality and value into the toys. And I was surprised recently to know that this country, our country, has now 1,670 design schools. This is a sizable body of design graduates which are coming out from all these schools, and how to integrate these designers with the industry through industry project or with workshops and all, and sensitize the manufacturing more on the design process to improve the quality. We all know that Indian toy market has enormous potential, considering the population and considering its large population, and almost 50% of our people are less than 25 years of age, meaning that the children are there and they are looking for the toy. And during pandemic time, lockdown situation where the schools were not working, children were at home, there is a surge of 25% of the toy consumption. And this consumption certainly is given a greater encouragement, and same time there was a reduction of the Chinese import toys. So there is a good boost for the Indian toy manufacturer to see. And now I think it is our responsibility, the design fraternity's responsibility, to see that how we improve the quality, and good design is delivering the value. That is the way I will look into that. You give design approach and process for the better and quality manufacturing, which is more relevant and contextual, which certainly be able to increase the market share in our country. Designing the toy which brings out the creative potential of children. And I think this aspect which we need to really look into, that what kind of toys which we should develop. It's only entertainment value, or it will have some educational value which will harness the creative potential of children. And I think that particular thinking in design, if we try and bring and see that how artificial intelligence can apply in a Lego type of product, or the wooden toys, so that the children can manipulate and they can explore, and they see that what all can be made. The attempts have been made, and I think these kind of do-it-yourself variation, flexibility, actually even the programming, coding, and see that what all children can really do. I think this is the way the whole approach has to be looked into. And then as Secretary mentioned about the big heritage, the culture. Look at the toys of Banaras, look at the toys of Chennapatna, Ekitupaka. They are so nice, and I think they are really bringing a lot of meaning potential in the market, Indian market and the global market. And if those toys can be connected with artificial intelligence, and I think this is what we need to do in classroom, this is what we need to do in the design studios, that somewhere merging the traditional and contemporary, the science and technology and electronics, bring it to the traditional toys. The furniture design is such important discipline all over the design schools are offering, but just the joinery of furnitures can also bring out lots of new toys, because there is a possibility of adding on and creating some new toys can happen. So I think the looking into that educational toy and entertainment toy, this we have to really look into for quality thing. And new parenting skills shows tremendous dependency on these educational toys. Parents are looking for the toys which can give some kind of educational inputs to the children. Learning by playing, let them play and learn, learning will happen. I think create such kind of toys which they will learn. And I think the best way to learn and retain the information, if there is interest, if there is a curiosity, obviously children will retain, and that thinking which we have to really bring into. So a lot of skills are there, a lot of potential, and our manufacturers, if you see, there our tool rooms are there who can really come out with an excellent products. It is the systems thinking which we have to bring in, where the retailers, that the institution with the technological support, the craft institutions, the manufacturers, all need to come together and work in a multidisciplinary environment. Even the communication designers, product designers, interaction designers, all this should come and see that what and where we can really draw the vision of toy industry for 2025, 2030, and that kind of scenario we can take it, because we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and where physical, digital, biological spheres are merging. And I think that we have to take advantage of this, the way IT and the digital era which is coming out, how we can make it more responsible, more ethical, and see that the values can be created with the toy design in this sector. Anju ma'am has already mentioned about the robotics and other aspects, and I think we have to integrate that in our toy making. So more understanding of technology and trying to allow them to explore their own creative ability will make them a better professional in future, and who will be able to really find a solution which is more contextual and serving the purpose. At the end, I think we have to create toys which will build a good citizen in our country, and will make them confident to come out with the solutions which requires in the society. And that is the way I think we have to take forward the design thinking in the toy manufacturing. And with this, I conclude. I know that all our eminent speakers have presentations. They are going to bring a global perspective, how they are dealing with, how their fraternity is addressing the issues related with entertainment, edutainment, curiosity, values, ethics, and more responsible consumption of material. Because I think one of the United Nations developing goal is responsible consumption of material, and cheap plastic toys which have been coming to our country from China and those places where the low cost and some things are there. Obviously, there is also somewhere the plastic waste which is going everywhere, which one has to look into. So the responsible consumption of material is also very, very important. So over to you, Dr. Bose, for taking it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradhan Bhai, for setting the tone of the type of discussions we are going to have. It's my pleasure to now invite Dr. Mariana. She would be talking about the design, education, and play, and the social innovation imperative. Over to you, Dr. Mariana.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to share my screen and put the presentation up. If you bear with me. So again, a real honor and pleasure to be joining this esteemed panel for the Industry Town Hall. My name is Mariana Amatula, and today I am talking to you from Manhattan. This is the view, very much the view from my apartment in the city. I am a professor, as was mentioned, at Parsons School of Design for the last 4 years, and serve in the senior administration of my university, the new school. Parsons is a really inspiring institution to be a professor in. We are the largest design school in the United States, and what makes Parsons incredible is that we are within a university that has a long tradition in the social sciences and in the performing arts, the new school. So our students approach their design education in a very transdisciplinary manner. And of course, we have programs that range from graduate to undergraduate, from the School of Fashion, the very famous School of Fashion from Parsons, but a lot of very interesting programs that range from architecture to communication design and environment. A couple of years ago, almost now, I had the honor to be selected as the current Cumulus president. And Cumulus is the premier association of art, design, and media in the world. We are very proud to have this very focused mandate to bring some of the most excellent colleges and universities, and those include many members in India, although after hearing that you have 170 schools, I think we have a lot of work to do with my colleague Eya Salmi, who's part of this panel, to invite other members. But we're in 61 countries, and through these schools and colleges, we touch about 1 million students. And we do this work with an incredible executive board of colleagues from around the world who are leading universities that are very diverse, both in geography and in mandates. And we could not do this work without Eya Salmi, our Secretary General, who has been the steward of Cumulus for the last 30 years since its founding, and a small support staff of 2 people, one of them on the screen, Anna Lindberg. So I'm very grateful for their partnership in my role as president. My scholarship and research, as was mentioned, is really focused for the last 20 years in social innovation and management. I am very proud to have a book coming out in fall that looks at social innovation case studies from around the world, and how designers are evolving these emergent practices. So this has really been a passion of mine. And today's remarks will be focused, of course, in the context of Ahmedabad Design Week and this panel on toying with design. What I would like to leave you with is a sense of how designers can demonstrate the agency to make change, positive change in the world. We know, and we have heard throughout the experts in Ahmedabad Design Week, that it is really important to be cultivating lifelong learners. This is a policy mandate because we know that the world of tomorrow is a world of complexity, where the children of today will be facing multiple jobs and what we're calling upskilling and reskilling during their lifetime. And play and an approach, a dynamic approach of learning that starts early in a child's trajectory, we know from all of the leading research, makes a very big difference to get to adults that have the qualities that you see on the right of the screen. This is a Future of Jobs report from the World Economic Forum, predicting what are the skill sets that industry is looking for in their leaders. And you can see that problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, etc., are some of the soft skills that are being valued today and into the future, and into the sorts of industries and organizations that the 21st century demands. And perhaps this pandemic has demonstrated the significance of these trends more than ever. Learning what the problem is the problem. That approach that the great theoretical thinker Horst Rittel wrote in this paper, The Reasoning of Designers, is very much how I believe we have to think about playing and learning and design education. Again, from research, this is research from the LEGO Foundation, one of the most prominent think tanks in terms of learning and play. when do children learn best, right? Is the question we should ask as we're thinking about toys. Children learn best when their experiences are joyful, when they can find meaning in what they're doing. It has to involve some active, engaged, minds-on thinking, iterative thinking and experimentation, and social interactions. These are the 5 dimensions, again, from a lot of research that show the most effective sort of engagement in creating toys and in creating educational situations for learning. And very briefly, I'm going to highlight 3 toy projects from the next generation of designers, young students and young graduates of some of our universities in the Cumulus network that really have inspired me. And I will be brief. 2 of these projects come from the Cumulus Green competition. And this is a competition we run every 2 years. And we had focused on SDG 2 for the last one, as was mentioned, this idea of circular economy and responsible consumption and production. And it was fantastic to see incredible submissions from all over the world through the Cumulus membership. And among those winners and honorable entries were these 2 projects. The first one was from Scarlett in Centro School of Design in Mexico. And her project is called Small Heroes of Earth. And this is a very interesting educational toy. It is basically directed to children in low-income communities to teach them about managing organic waste and composting waste, which leads to, of course, very valuable outcomes, as we know from an environmental perspective. So this is a project that included a book and a number of these compost bins and is actually deployed in a number of communities outside Mexico City. The second project from this competition that I want to highlight is from my school, actually, from Parsons School of Design, Wool on Wheels. And this is a project that looked at endangered sheep and designing a toy car in all with very ecosystem materials that come from the agri waste of the sheep. And again, a fantastic prototype that shows the invention of design in terms of materiality and the responsibility designers have in thinking about materials and circular economy when they're making choices in toy design. And finally, a project that I was very connected to and facilitated with one of the multinationals that was mentioned earlier, Mattel, the second largest toy company in the world. We partnered on a Barbie project. And the goal here was to think about the dream house of Barbie and help through our students think about the ways that this can evolve to be much more environmental friendly and diverse. Out of that project, Charlie Hodges, one of the students in that studio, developed this amazing concept of the urbanette, a house, a cardboard house. And after graduating, Charlie launched this house into a toy that is now on sale and very successful and multiple award-winning toy, Arcamelia, which really brings ideas of storytelling and imaginative open-ended play for children around the world. I will leave you highlighting 2 current prominent designers in the United States that are doing breakthrough work in the area of learning. The first one is Anne-Marie Thomas. She's the Lego Prize winner from 2020. Dr. Thomas is an engineer that brings design and art into her work. She is the founder of a toy called the Squishy Circuits that introduced children to working with electronics and Play-Doh. And then the last one, and my parting words are from really Cass Holman. Cass Holman is a toy designer at RISD, another Cumulus member school, who is really breaking barriers, gender barriers, material barriers in an approach of constructivist play. Her Rigamagic toy has been award-winning, is in the High Line in New York and around the world. And she teaches that if we can play together, we can live together. And I hope that is a message we carry forth. Thank you very much.
Mariana, thank you so very much. Cass Holman is coming in the abstract of new at Netflix. So we know how RISD and Parsons are valued across the world. And there's some wonderful work, because when we started into the minds, into the DNA of our students as designers and the future industry, when they go in and we make them industry ready, what a satisfaction it is to anyone who's put them through this journey. Thank you so very much. Our next presentation is from Hemant Suthar, who is the president of the ADI India. And he will be talking about design intervention in contemporary Indian toys, an area which has been much neglected, though there have been, in his growing up formative years, he's worked quite a lot in NID and in other spheres of his professional life. Over to you, Hemant Bhai, to talk about design intervention in contemporary Indian toys.
Thank you, Colonel Bose. Good evening, friends and fellow panelists and students. Thanks for inviting ADI to be a part of Ahmedabad Design Week. And let me share my presentation. Yeah, can you see it? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, toys in India, they date back to about 5,000 years. All of us have seen images of dancing girl and the clay cart from Mohenjo-daro in our school history books. That is how intrinsic it was to life in India. Historically, we have rich traditions in toy making. Like all crafts, toy making was also passed on from one generation to another. And like all traditional crafts, our toys were made of local and sustainable material like wood, bamboo, and cloth. It makes me sad now that over the past hundreds of years, we have lost what we valued then. When you look at global toy scenario, only one Indian name that has made its mark, that is Channapatna Toys. With our culturally rich and diverse heritage of crafts and culture, we should have had at least one success story from each state. We should have at least 29 such stories. What this tells me that we need to do a lot of research and documentation to preserve our rich heritage. This knowledge then can be utilized to upskill the craftsmen and manage the transition from history to the future. And I see design playing a big role here. So like any other industry, toy industry also has its own challenges. Right now, the big challenge we are facing is from imports. The cheap Chinese plastic toys have flooded our market. From village mela to online shopping platforms, you find them everywhere. Now, the second one big challenge is of information. Lack of awareness about Indian toys in the consumer's mind. With our rich culture of storytelling, we could have done this better and kept the story of our toys alive. But that has not happened. Our younger generation knows more about superhero movies than our own stories. Now, the next one big challenge is innovation. While our artisans can provide great craftsmanship, they're not equipped to innovate to address the changing needs of today's children. Toy design to help engage today's child is a mature field of research and study. And these insights need to be applied to our traditional toys to help them evolve. Initiatives. While easy finance schemes are made available, there is no upskilling and design support which is available to the craftsmen at the large scale which is needed. Luckily, the challenges are opportunities for designers to make a difference. The one big opportunity we have is our domestic market size and our young population, which is under 25, like Pradyumna was saying. So the Indian toy market is pegged about 5,000 to 6,000 crore rupees, and out of which the Indian producers only have about 15% share. If we can grow this by 5 to 10%, an additional 300, 600 crores of business. Imagine the number of craftsmen and artisans who can be supported with this money. Like all businesses, it's easier said than done. Next, we have a rich, untapped culture and heritage to bank on. The transition from our rich culture and heritage to the future needs to be managed well. And we have these toys to become fashionable and desirable for the kids of today. And we can definitely do it with the help of design and design thinking. Next is distribution. Distribution has become very simpler because e-commerce have come in, and we need to innovate, design, manufacture, and distribute traditionally crafted toys on online and offline channels to provide easy access to them. They need to be showcased on par with contemporary toys of today in lifestyle stores and not to be limited to the craft fair alone. E-commerce, crowdfunding, and maker culture has enabled designers and toy makers to become Atmanirbhar or self-reliant for manufacturing and distribution of toys. Another big opportunity which has come our way is our Prime Minister call for vocal for local. I think vocal for local is a great initiative and will help raise awareness and inform Indian consumers about our rich culture and heritage and proudly use and promote Indian toys. Next, we have how can a design help in all of this? So design can intervene, and designers can help not just with designing a better looking toy, but form the bridge between craftsmen and what the market needs. It can also help in strong research and documentation, which can help improvising traditional designs to upskill the craftsmen and make them Atmanirbhar. The design can work in 3 levels: tactile, systems, and strategic. The first one is tactile. This usually is the first place where design can make a visible impact. Here, designers work on enhancing the form of the product, make it look good and contemporary. The basic understanding of art, color, and form are the tools designers use here. I would like to take an example of Varnam Craft Collective. It has been working with artisans in Channapatna since 2012 and providing sustainable livelihoods on a consistent basis to artisans. They have been successful in working with the craftsmen to provide them with contemporary design and in interpreting this 200-year-old toy making craft to not just making better toys, but move into the space of home and lifestyle. So they make wooden toys with this flat turnery. Plus also they have made a lot of home appliances can be used in kitchen and dining tables. And you can see their online site, they're doing wonderful work. Next, I would talk about the second level, where design works at the systems level, where designers work not on the end product, but to make a strong process and systems to enhance the quality of the product. Here, the designers work as a team player and get many other skills and talent and resources on board, depending on what problems need to be solved. So I would like to take, this is a done to death example, but NID has done this wonderful project. This 300-year-old leather craft was given a new lease of life by the efforts of Ravi J. Mathai of IIM and Ashok Chatterjee of NID in Ahmedabad. In 1975, Javaja Leather Association was formed. Craftsmen were given training in new techniques and processing of leather and designs for new products, and then there were no looking back. Javaja leather is a flourishing craft now with its unique identity and style, and it's becoming known across the world. This is a great example of systems thinking and system intervention of design. Next, I would go to the design where design intervention, which works at the greatest level, and its strategy. This is when designers work at the vision level thinking for a project. They provide value towards companies' business objectives and vision for the future growth. For this, I would like to take example of the biggest success story in toys, that is Lego. Who doesn't know Lego? Lego was a successful toy brand. It was started in 1932. You can see that wooden duck. It talks about where they started, and you can see Mindstorm where they've reached now. So, and they're still managed to stay relevant across all age groups. I still play with Lego and create artworks. They prove that good design is good business, and design is at the core of their success. So what they created was something called D for B, Design for Business, which was a part of a 7-year strategy known as Shared Vision in the year 2004. The vision was to reinvent the enterprise's brand distinctiveness in an inventive toy manufacturing business. It was to ensure that both business side and creative side share the same objective and completely understood the company's business strategy as well as how to realize strategic goals using the other team's resources. D for B also allows the shift of strategy for innovation from being product focused to being company focused. Design for Business focuses on redefining creativity as well as design within an organizational approach. So this was a great example of where design intervention can help you scale your business to the size of Lego. I mean, this is where we can reach and we should dream of. So what is the way forward? I would like to conclude with some of the things which I gathered through my research for this topic. So I think it would be really nice if we have design centers in each state. Creating design centers in each state will provide design support to toy makers and artisans. Like NID and industry had this scheme called Design Clinic, which helped MSMEs. We could have such collaborative platform linking the toy manufacturers, craftsmen, and designers. Bringing these three together will bring about the necessary push the toy makers need. Designers will help not just by designing toy, but also in strategizing. Stay relevant in popular culture. Making cultural toys and artisans part of our popular culture will help the toys remain in the eyes of policymakers. Showcasing and distribution platforms. I think we really need online and offline platforms which provide opportunities to toy makers and improve their financial situation. Online knowledge portals. I think promoting stories and documentation associated with our tradition, toy making, and creating a crowdsourced knowledge portal. I think this will be an open source platform and will help the toy making community. In the end, I would like to urge all the toy makers to keep all the good practices intact and all processes safe, humane, just, and ecologically balanced. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemant. Actually, what in his intervention, he's really read out a full charter for all of us here, and a very systematic playbook of how we need to move the design forward, bring folklore into the design, etc. Just for a little bit for our participants, that we are just short of 4,000 people who are attending the industry town hall. I think it doesn't get bigger than this. And this is what was the aim of getting all from across the world that it indeed was a high point, but I never imagined that there would be just short of 4,000 people who are watching this. And I've got a whole bunch of questions which are coming. So a little bit pre-warning to the panelists. They are of very diverse and some of them are really, really interesting. My next speaker on the panel is Jonathan. Jonathan is going to speak about a very important part, that is designer professionalism. ethics, professionalism, these have strategy, these have all been part of curriculum mapping, curriculum making. But designer professionalism is something I think the young crowd and the old and the industry and the design students who are part of this industry and who are listening to every word very keenly was something which Jonathan would be able to tell all of us. Over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you very much, Colonel Bose. What a privilege to be able to speak with you all today. Much appreciated. I absolutely love the idea of toying with design and just what that means. I just need to bring my screen up here. There we go. And so it truly is a pleasure for me to be able to participate in this event today, and especially to be able to hear the contributions of the other speakers. Fantastic presentation so far. I really appreciated hearing what your vision is and what the opportunities are. The International Council of Design, established almost 60 years ago, represents more national professional designer associations than any other organization, and also counts amongst its members design education institutions and design promotion entities. Therefore, our focus on design very much represents the perspective of practicing professionals. We were founded in the 60s by European National Professional Designer Associations. With time, members from North America and the early Asian tigers, Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea joined. But in recent years, we have become really international, reflecting the rising influence of the Asian economies, the South, and a truly global economy. We have been particularly involved with the rapid global economy, with the rapid development of the Chinese designer economy. China now is the home of more EcoD members than any other country. These global influences have deeply and fundamentally affected EcoD's structure, perspectives, and agendas, making us more diverse and more attentive to the social obligations of designing. India, of course, is another awakening giant economy. We are very aware of the need for EcoD to greatly enhance our involvement with India, its vibrant designer community, and its growing industrial and commercial might. And for those reasons, I'm very happy to be here today, hoping to generate new friendships and collaborations. Designers, of course, have always been critical mediums for innovation and the application of new technologies to enable improvements in the quality of life for all. No matter in what form of production, physical artifacts, including, of course, toys, visual messages, spatial environments, or digital experiences. But I do want to share a few comments on EcoD's approach to innovation and technology. Both are not new. Technological development and innovation have been the determining attributes of humankind for 250,000 years. To better appreciate both, it is best to see them in the perspective of that continuum of history and designers' ongoing role in that history. It is true that over the last 200 years, with the Industrial Revolution that started in the 19th century, technological development has accelerated. But it is a mistake to see that as something that is uniquely modern. And we are still in the midst of that initial industrial revolution. Though some may speak of second, third, and even fourth industrial revolutions, and even a post-industrial society, EcoD maintains that the first industrial revolution continues until such time when all the planet's population benefits from it. Likewise, one has to be careful when using the term innovative. Innovation, too, is hardly a modern construct. How much of modern technological development, loudly touted as innovative, can truly compare with the impact of such ancient, culture-altering innovations like the wheel, writing, numbers, currency, and movable type? Too often, innovation has come to be a replacement word for the simply new or novel. Innovation cannot be predicted or guaranteed. It can only be confirmed well after the fact, when long-term evidence is available. And that is a key challenge to us as designers. EcoD maintains that designers have a key role in ensuring a better future for all through a new professionalism, that designers are well positioned to apply new technologies that simultaneously seek environmental sustainability, economic viability, social equity, and cultural diversity. EcoD recognizes the great benefits that industrialization can provide. Never have so many benefited from improving quality of life. But we also realize that economic models based on ever-increasing consumption and short-term profit are unsustainable. Models must evolve. Designers have the capacity to be part of that evolution. But to be part of that solution, designers have to recognize that they are complicit in the current problems. I thank you for this opportunity to introduce EcoD, and we look forward to the opportunity to interact with Indian designers and economic entities as we all strive forward to creating a better world for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I think you said it, that designers have a key role in ensuring a better life. There couldn't be a more profound statement for all of us hearing us. My next speaker is Alok, and he's speaking on designing for interactions. We've all now seen the type UI, UX, and interaction is playing in case all students, visual communication, product design are looking in this wide area of interactions. Over to you, Alok.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel Bose, and thank you to the Ahmedabad Design Week for having me speaking on behalf of IXDA. You see the presentation? Just a quick feedback. Can you hear me?
We only see your desktop.
Yeah, you got to stop and start again. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That is interesting.
You open your presentation in your desktop and then share.
Yeah, it is open. So let me reshare that. Second. So do you see it now?
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Great, thank you. So audio-wise, we are set. Visual-wise, we are set. Hi again, and thanks, Colonel Bose, for having us, and thanks to the Ahmedabad Design Week for hosting this fascinating topic under this panel. As many of us here, I have a hat as a practitioner with Architempo and Spread, a hat as an educator with Institut Paul Bocuse and ClapFab, and I'm busy with communities activities, communities of designer with IXDA, Pechakucha, and activities with Cumulus. So I'll build the contribution here on what we have heard from Hemant. Hemant has provided a super interesting cartography mapping of what is the way forward. And we have Jonathan, who reminded us of the role of the designer, and Mariana, who insisted on also the activities of the children. So we're getting into a kind of multi-stakeholder approach, and Pradyumna has reminded us that toying design or toying with design requires a system thinker approach. And in order to have a system thinker approach, I would like us to keep in touch that all this needs to rethink the notions of interactions. Interactions between stakeholders, interactions from a user point of view, setting up a system where business enablers would be allowed to act, and these interactions are to be designed. And it's great to see that from an Indian point of view, from a policy point of view, there is attention given to these activities of setting up the meaningful system. All of us have been discussing what is toy and all the Ahmedabad Design Week has been looking into toy from a children point of view, how toys have importance from a historical point of view. Now we are all sitting each other looking at screens, but if we shut down our eyes and we try to remember the smell of wood, which is a material used for number of toys. So olfactive interaction is something we might think about, and all these other modalities of interaction. And when we think about toy, we have some other notions and names coming up. Playing, gaming, and I remember Pradyumna saying, if we talk about game, then we have such a large scape where the notion of toy has to be again repositioned. And we are in 21st century. Imitation, simulation, make-believe, artificial, these are all notions that our policymakers, our designers, our industrialists need to take into account. How are we going to make sure that we are creating meaningful systems and bringing the right zooming in, zooming out as design strategists? And Hemant has reminded us about the notion of interventions at many levels, which fits into this zooming in, zooming out that I'm suggesting. So I'm here representing Interaction Design Association. It's a young association. It was born in 2004. We have now more than 120,000 designers worldwide working in a kind of distributed manner. And what I would like us to keep in mind, knowing that we have all these design associations, is that interaction is much more than digital. Interaction design as a practice, UX, UI, was born out of the relationships between screens, computers, and humans. But for the last 10 years, we are more into systems design. And toy becomes a trigger for having this interesting design thinking, design doing about what we can bring to children, what we can bring to people. And Pradyumna, you were mentioning about the importance of not only entertaining, but also educating, trying to enlarge the space of possibles. And that is where I suggest we come with 6 verbs, because we had Mariana talking about the education landscape, Hemant talking about the interventions. And here, as a designer and looking at how design will be experienced, the way I suggest to add to the conversation and to interconnect and to create new interactions, this grid with the 6 verbs allows us to think about the place of toy in systems. Are we designing toys to connect? Are we designing toys to rethink and disrupt? Are we empowering people, children, but more than that? Are we engaging them? When I talk about empowering, we need to empower also the toy provider, the toy maker, the toy industrialist. How are we engaging? How are we making sure that the experience people are having with toy are allowing them to express, to explore? And how are we optimizing systems? So if I take these 6 lenses, it allows to interconnect what Mariana was talking about, what Hemant, what Jonathan was alluding to, and I'm sure that Srini in his talk will have some elements in resonance with these 6 lenses. So I remind them, connecting is about facilitating communication, disrupting is about reimagining, empowering is about helping people to do otherwise, engaging is about capturing our attention in different modalities, expressing is about enabling self-expression, and optimizing is making activities more efficient. So these 6 lenses are coming into resonance with interventions, with activities, and allow the designers to be hands-on. Let's not only do design thinking, let's do design doing, is one of the mantra we hear nowadays. And this is something that when we are talking about policy making for toys, we need to focus on the doing, on the impact. And we need to question, what do we mean by utile? What is utile and what is futile. You remember 2020, we went through all the country into questioning what is essential, what is non-essential. Half of the business in our countries are under lockdown. Many of us cannot travel. And so the question of utile versus futile is something fundamental where design can bring some interesting light. And questions are related to these three dimensions: physical, social, and cognitive. And Hemant, you're touching on this when you talked about your interventions. Mariana was touching on this when she talked about the 5 activities of children. And nowadays, when we talk about interaction design, what do we see? Augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality. These are part of the spectrum, the continuum that Hemant is suggesting. And I'm adding IoT, but IoT as Internet of Toys. What is the vision that we can have of an Internet of Toys spectrum where we are interconnecting technology with craft, where we are crafting digitally, where we are pushing the boundaries of rethinking systems, and where we are empowering designers at the early phase of making stuff. Let's not, dear industrialists who are listening to us, dear policymakers, let's not have design come at the end of the journey. Design is a strategic activity. Design is shaping intention. Design is helping us to think about systems. But I would like us to remind the 17 SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. It's good to talk about stuff. It's good to talk about object. It's good to talk about system. But how do we make sure that Sustainable Development Goals are embedded into any action and policy that we are taking? So I leave the audience and the panelists with these elements which I added to push our conversations and triggered some more interactions. Let's think about systems, of course, where we produce things which are desirable, which are feasible, which are viable, and everybody knows these 3 notions, but let's make sure that we add this fundamental layer to all our actions and activities. Let's toy design in new ways. Thank you very much, all of you, for your attention, and looking forward to the interactions.
Yeah. Thank you, Alok. It's a wonderful and very interesting talk. You started with system design, and you brought many, many new words into the lexicon of designers. And a lot of people, after hearing this, to think about. I'm sure at the end, when someone sums it up, Pradyumna, when he gives his concluding remarks, takes quite a number of things. And what I could pick up is going to design making beyond design thinking and the IoT of toys. I think these are very, very interesting times. You have moved the chapter a few pages more into the designer's book, or the scrapbook, as they may say. Thank you so very much. We have Srini. Srini is the president of World Design Organization. He doesn't sleep. His travel has curtailed, otherwise it's difficult to catch Srini at any point in time. So the utile and the futile and the essential, I'm sure all are getting considered and they're finding resonance amongst us. Over to you, Srini.
Thank you very much, Colonel Bose. My dear fellow association members, so it's great to see all of you on the same panel. It's indeed my privilege to be there today. And I think you can see my slides, hopefully. Okay, so today we're going to talk, okay, yeah, there you go. How do we get this out of my presentation mode? Use this display.
Yeah, that's the one.
That one? We lost everything. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit. We heard everybody talking their own perspective of what the toy design and the principles and everything. So today I want to talk a little bit about the toy's influence in our society because we are all belonging to a society. Briefly, WDO has been like, all the other associations have been there since 1957. And we are here to create a better world, is what we believe. And today we have, this number is increased, fortunately for us. Now we are 185 member organizations, and we have like a big pillars. And we do, several programs, including the World Design Assembly. What I want to really impress upon today is we have just announced the World Design Impact Prize, which is a solution that touches upon some segments of the society. Therefore, I request all of you to nominate you, in your view, whatever is a very impactful solution that you have come to witness. And that'll be, basically we want to get as many entries as possible. We also opened out the World Design Capital of 2024. So with that, enough of WDO. So toys. So toys is something that, we are integral part of any child's life. And for some adults also, like Hemant mentioned, he still wants to play, Lego, and, we play Nintendo or other stuff. They are a constant companions besides parents. When parents are not around or they get bored of the parents, they are constantly playing with the toys. So therefore, whether it is a plush toy in their alongside their bed or just playing around, toys are constant companions. And they learn the basic skills from toys before they even begin to speak. As you can see, imagine a 3-month-old baby getting a little bit of a thing that, be hung on their, little cradle. It starts from there. And then children very easily bond. Supposing somebody's child is visiting us, so we still have toys, even though I have no young children, because we want to get them engaged quickly so that they feel at home with the toys rather than with the adults. Okay. So I'm going to take you to some of the famous toys from 1950 or even before. Who can forget the Thomas engine? It came in 1930s or 40s. And we have the potato head and the cars. And these are all, I'm sure most of us would have seen in our lives. Even being in India, you probably would have gotten it. The most important, in the next decade was to bring the Etch-a-Sketch, which is, people are learning to create some sort of a image or some sort of a drawing tool. And then came the G.I. Joe, more imagination, for especially boys. And also the Star Wars came and changed the whole perspective of toys. And then we also had some funny toys like the hacky sack, which we'll see people playing on the streets. And then Barbie was another huge hit with the girls especially. And then we had for the intelligent ones, the Rubik Cube and so on. Moving on to the 80s and 20s, the toys changed dramatically in terms of bringing a new way of, getting people to engage. So we had the famous Ninja Turtles, and the Beanies, and then the Power Rangers, Tickle Me Elbow. And in the 1980s, I believe, Japan introduced this Tamagotchi, which introduced electronics into people's lives and especially to the kids' lives. So they started, I still remember early, my kids wanted to have, you feed the little, character in the toy. So those were the days. And then came the, Pokemon cards. Then we really slid into a non-physical toy scenario where we went after, digital games, but they're also toys in many ways. And then, of course, once the iPod came, there were very few real toys that were coming into that. During the same time, we also looked at, famous toys from India. And I was very happy to hear Chennapatna, because every time I go from Bangalore to Mysore, I see that, we stop in those two little shops that are there, we see what new toys are there. And they're all made of, very sustainable material, namely the wood. And then we also have the terracotta toys, which are, we can see the kitchen set, as well as the Eastern Indian side of it, where in Assam and Meghalaya, they do this different kind of toys, the tops and the horse drawing scenarios. And then we also had these, just like the Russian dolls, they had the cascading, kind of images. And of course, who can forget the famous head shaking, Tanjore dolls, that was done from Tamil Nadu. So these were the predominantly, I mean, there were zillions of toys, but I just picked only the most important and people can correlate from their childhood. So these were the toys. So let's look at the progression, right? It started with funny objects like potato heads and maybe some cars, brought some real life emotions, Barbie and similar, household scenes, there is a lot of, I want to really address what Hemant said. Like, while we are talking about design and what we should do to design to promote the industry, I believe there is a lot of change has to happen in the minds of the people. We'll come to that in a minute. And we came to skill games, board games, Etch-a-Sketch, Lego builders, and also Rubik Cube, and then much more. Imagination and play acting was like G.I. Joe. I still remember my kids saying like, I am such and such in the character, and Power Rangers, they'll keep the toy in the hand and start running and whizzing away in their mouth. And Transformers, right? It's a small thing. You make it into a big truck or make it into a monster, and such kind of things were there. Of course, once adventure-seeking toys came into play, like Mario and Star Wars, the whole gaming, especially with the toys, became totally different. Of course, we moved into digital games. We're not going to talk about digital games because they are not, in my opinion, toys in a real sense. Toy industry challenges, changes in lifestyle and expectations. So this is where I think, Hemant, I think we need to really, the industry is ready, everybody is ready, but the parents are not ready. The kids are not ready because there is a different expectation in their mind as to what they think as fun objects, right? So that's what we need to really bring them back to the values where toys played an important role. If you really look at the formative years of children, the more they play with cars, there's a possibility that they will become an automotive engineer or they'll become a car designer. The more they play with, like a mini stethoscope and, things like that, they just get influenced to become a doctor. And this is where the culture comes into play. In the traditional Indian side, if a girl is born in a family, the people will always give them toys which are, kitchen set, learn to cook when you're 5 years old, That's somewhat ridiculous in today's era, where we are almost, demeaning, saying that, oh, if there is the gender balance was not there in those days. People were just giving toys that will be in their mind, useful to the kids to form into an adult, young children in their stack. So demands of the parenting in current times, with both the parents working very tough jobs. So there's very little time. So they're very happy to, spend some money and give them toys and not even worry about what they are doing. So this has also caused a lot of dangerous, behavior in children. I will come to that. Affordability for toys. We talked about Chinese toys getting flooded into the market, but the rest of the world were not able to bring toys for those families which could not afford a $50 toy. So they are happy to spend $5, or they even go to the dollar stores and pick some toys, because toys, if you don't give the toys to the kids, they feel left out. So therefore, affordability comes into a very, very big play. And then that's where the material and technology has to play a role, and design has to play a role in finding those materials which can reach the en masse children around the globe. And safety concerns, and with respect to the age, if there is a small baby, and in the US, they regulate it very well. You cannot make some very small toys and give it to children who are below 3 years age, because they could have a, fear of swallowing that. And similarly, different culture brings different kinds of concerns with respect to toy, right? And heavy competition today, right? Everybody's beating each other. So there's a 6 billion industry. I was very sad to listen to, Hemant. He was mentioning 6,000 crores. That's about, 85 or 90, if I'm right. That's the $1 million, right, Hemant? Yeah, that's about 85 to $90 million. So there's a lot of potential in the Indian market for toys. So therefore, I think competition should be kept in mind if you want to reach a better market share. Appeal factor for buyer. Remember, the kids are not able to buy until they become at least 12, 13 years, when they are able to get some money. Maybe that age has gone down a little bit today. Appeal factor is for the parents. When I have to give a gift to somebody's child, then it's for me to decide, and for me and my wife, we are struggling, what is the best way to give them? Should I give it in terms of my status and affordability to show that I can give a $200 gift. And there is nothing which is like a toy in a $200 to match my status in the society. Or should I give a toy that will be wow the children, you know? So those are some of the conflicting emotions that the society goes through on a daily basis when you are having an opportunity to choose a gift. And the business model, as you know, Toys R Us closed their last 2 stores, one being in New York and the other one somewhere else in East Coast. They closed their toys. They were iconic. If you go into Toys R Us, if the kids were troubling, you just go to Toys R Us, leave them around. For 2 hours, you can be there, engage with toys, kids can play. But unfortunately, the business models don't make them stay alive. They just close their in-store, but they're still online. So I think that's one more challenge for the toy industry. And rapidly changing trends make the ROI difficult. Every 3 months, you know, there is a new toy coming up, right? Because we want to really keep in touch with the technology, and technology, once it comes, I mean, it's just like our mobile phones, right? Every 6 months, Apple will come with the next version. If you don't buy it, you are not welcome in your society, right? People think, oh, you still have iPhone X? Why not X plus Y plus Z, you know? That's the kind of scenario makes toys very difficult for the companies to invest. And IP protection is very difficult. Once a toy comes, the cheaper version comes out within a month. So these are some of the major challenges for the toy industry. And the influence in society. They help in children, as I said, you know, problem solving, motor coordination, listening skills, all these things come from playing with toys, and induce early interest. Lego, Etch-a-Sketch, or some of the toys which were there. Of course, the play school came with a lot of other toys which are, you know, learning skills were there. And it's actually helping parents and teachers in teaching the basic skills. They also help in learning about our culture and habits, festivities, you know, religion, social event. These are all things that, you know, we make the children learn easily through the toys that we are giving them at one occasion or the other. Like, you know, if a child gets a nativity set in the Western world, they learn about, you know, the Christianity, the beginning of, you know, Jesus Christ and all that stuff. So similarly, Kumbh is there, or other festivals, you know, Navratri is there, all those things. They learn from the toys that they are getting as a child. Toys are still around. If you look at it, toys have not gone, though the number of physical toys have come down drastically compared to the digital games. But if you really look at, some of them have made their way back. So we got, if you look at the potato head has come in a different scenario. The only drawback or the advantage is that they are now coming with an app alongside the physical toy, but still they are there. So let's enjoy the toys as we see them. Thank you.
Thank you, Shini. It's quite a toy story that we have given to our audience. We have, I think, overshot a little bit. I'll just read out a few immediate ones, the number of questions which have come. So I'll give preference to our student Rima, a student of Fashion Design Semester 6. Our question is, can culture and associations be taught through toys in the future? That's one. And then the next one is, does toys of the future see design and technology come together? Some of it, I'm sure, has been asked. Pradyumna, if you'd like someone to take these questions, and I'll come to one which has been specific for Alok next. You're muted.
I would request Hemant, would you like to respond to that?
There are 2 questions.
Yeah, I'll repeat them. Do toys of the future see design and technology come together?
Definitely. I think future is technology. I think this pandemic has also shown us how much technology is important in aiding us. So like there's this saying that when steamroller of technology rolls over you, either you're part of the road or the steamroller. So that roller is here and you better be part of the steamroller. So I think they are going to merge. It's the responsibility of designer to make it relevant and helpful to our social needs as well.
Sure.
The next one is, can culture and associations be taught through toys of the future. They've always taught through history, but I'm sure they'll be taught through future also.
Mariana, would you like to respond to that, please? Because the social context which you were talking in your presentation. So if you unmute and please go ahead.
Can you repeat the question, because the connection broke up? I only heard the first part of it.
No, you're on mute.
Can culture and associations be taught through toys in the future?
Culture and association?
Be taught through toys in the future.
Right. So I believe that in the future, we are seeing these tendencies of toys taking that open-ended, ecological, constructivist view, and really generating play that allows the child to complete the story. I think that we'll continue to see more of that trend, given the complexity of the world we have to educate kids in. Thank you.
One is quite an interesting question, and it is more towards Pradyumna. Can India carve out a market share in the toy design and manufacturing based on our indigenous traditions?
I think
Lolita of Communication Design UID.
Yeah, no, I think very pertinent question. And yes, India can, because I think such a big creative culture industry exists in our country. The young minds, and also there are large number of users are present in our country. The large number of designers are there, and the manufacturers are there. What is required is now some of the policy aspect which can look into what Srini was talking about the safety aspects, about affordability aspects and all. I think India can certainly become a big player in toy manufacturing area.
Thank you, Pradyumna. Someone said that, look at the way we have scaled up our small car industry. We had only two cars for a very long time in India. And all of a sudden, the small cars, we are producing nearly world-class cars here and being exported all around the world. So why can't we?
India owns 2 of the best design studios in the world.
Yeah. I saw Pratap Bose the other day.
No, but other than that, the recent example of vaccines, that how this whole capacity building India has really shown in vaccine program, that itself shows that yes, if there is a way forward in this area, certainly they can take it forward.
I think this one is directed towards Alok. As someone, as we face the call to integrate craft with tech, what kind of design methodology are we looking at?
Thanks, Colonel Bose. This question is quite dense. What I would suggest is, in terms of design methods, let's go back to the essential, which is design is the expression of intention, and what we have as a global common knowledge, we see design coming always late in the story. We often see design being confused with decoration. And as Srini was mentioning, there is a need of mind shift from the parents vis-a-vis what toy is. I think there is a need of mind shift needed from this mind shift is needed from the industrialist and from the policymakers to invest in design. And we will see that anyway, be it physical or digital or systems, we need to be more upfront by involving design stakeholders in the process. And so methodologies are only a set of tools, approaches, which are feeding an interesting set of mindsets. So I would suggest that at the education level, and it's good to have persons like Pradyumna, like Mariana, like Aya, and all of us being teachers or professors in design schools is to try to change that mind shift. And that is what would be my answer in such a short span of time.
Thank you. We have really run out of time. And may I request Pradyumna to give his concluding remarks before Anahita proposes the vote of thanks.
Thanks, Colonel Bose. First of all, indeed, pleasure listening to all panelists, starting from Secretary who talked about that how India is really going to shape up the toy industry in the country. Started feeling that now toy and game is becoming a serious business. And somewhere in point of view of parenting, which Srini has brought this point, that toy always taken it as a lighter mode, that the behavior towards the toy and game where something like that, if you are going to get too much into toy business, how much you will concentrate on your educations, and things started becoming more on fun centric, not realizing that how deep aspect of learning from toy or with play they can develop themselves. Somewhere it was ignored. And I would also feel the way things unfolded, that too much of focus on technology, on science, and where chances of exploration is less, because the thing is that when you are studying mathematics, you know what is the solution. There is a way by which you can navigate. When you're studying the physics, which you're studying the engineering, there is a fixed way of taking the problem. But exploring things, dealing with ambiguity, trying to find out newer ways and means, the toy and play can really come out as a very strong educational thing and entertainment thing. And design fraternity, which has this skill of connecting the dots, which Alok was talking about, this more of a systems, stakeholders, creating scenarios, prototyping, testing, and taking it forward. I would say that that kind of logical thinking certainly is required. So with the toys, you can come out with this attitude of children to develop the strategy of problem solving, the strategy to find solution, the strategy to see that how innovations can come into the logical conclusion. I think this is the very important aspect of toy can come into the future, and you will have to connect it with education. If you are going and buying the toys in market, you just pick it up, but when it gets connected with the education system, I think the complete industry can change. And what this all design experts, through their understanding what they have mentioned, certainly it can come out very strong way in education, for making education like a play, and that retention certainly is going to be there. So this is what I would like to say, that in all association, big association which are there, how we can come together, how we can really encourage education institutions to get into edutainment kind of toy and game, because too much of guns and too much of screens and too much of violence which has come out in the toys, which somewhere has affected, and Dr. Mariana will agree with me, that somewhere it has affected on the behavior of the future generation, which need to be analyzed and which need to be looked into. I would say the social scientists become very, very important part of this whole stakeholders. So that way, government is now totally favorable. The policymakers are coming forward. It's the best time, I would say, to push forward this industry. And when we talk about micro, small, and medium enterprises and trying to really give in design inputs, this sector, which is 600,000, which Hemant talked about, is the Indian share, but the total import and other things which you see, that Indian consumption is 16,000 crore. 16,000 means you can convert it into millions, because our foreign guests may not understand. 1 crore is 10 million, by the way. So that size of market, and 75% is coming from China, and only 25% is manufactured in India. So there is a potential, but I think we need to work out, as Alok mentioned, coming all stakeholders together and work out the strategy for the future of toy industry in our country. Thank you very much. I think vote of thanks is going to be there, but that is the way I think we have to take it forward, the toy industry.
Thank you, Pradyumna Bhai. You've really encapsulated the center of what was a very fine and a very nice discussion, giving various world perspectives from various associations. Can I now propose the vote of thanks? And Professor Anahita, professor in the School of Fashion Design, United World Institute of Design. Please propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Colonel Bose. Wow, some forum this was. And rightly, as Pradyumna sir said, it was one of the most powerful design panel screen shares in recent times. So I'd like to start by thanking Ms. Anju Sharma for highlighting the need for the industry, academia, and the design fraternity to come together for the growth of the toy sector. Thank you, Dr. Guru Prasad Mahapatra, for shedding light on the role of toys in developing and shaping the value system of the country and the gap in the supply and demand in the toy industry, and also educating us about the government initiatives to boost the toy sector. We are looking forward to the virtual toy fair. Toys evoke nostalgia, toys are fun, toys are playful, and toys are really serious business. The panelists today touched upon a wide array of topics under the mushroom of toys, from consumption pattern of toys, drawing upon rich heritage of toys in India to build future toys, toys as tools for education, tools for entertainment, tools for edutainment, tools for social innovation, as well as toys as realization of sustainable materials and processes. The panelists discussed the role of toys in building the world of tomorrow from a global perspective. Toys touch the lives of every person in the society, from an infant to a teenager, to a midlife executive, to a senior citizen. You all took us on a fascinating journey of toys and plays, from the indigenous toy crafts of India, like Channapatna and Kondapalli dolls, to the AR and VR-fueled video games, toy interactions and experiences, highlighting the role that designers can play in the upliftment and growth of the toy industry. I thank you all for please making the time to be a part of the Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0 and sharing your insights and ideas with us. It's been really delightful and inspirational. So thank you all.
Thank you each and everyone. It's very early for that part of the world. It is getting late on this part of the world. The fact is that we have been able to catch the entire world through this screen share is something to be very proud of at Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0. We wish to call off and thank each and everyone from the bottom of our hearts. On behalf of our president, Shri Hitesh Dihada, President Karnavati University, the Provost Dr. Shishu, Srimati Anju Sharma, who has really been the power behind getting so many diverse institutions from a children university to all the NIDs to all the IITs. So it's been a very, very hectic, as well as something to be grateful to the entire back end. We wouldn't know as panelists how much of effort went to our back end. And of course, to Pradyumna for moderating this whole show. And to each one of you for coming and honoring us at the Ahmedabad Design Week. I wish to inform that we would be having a physical, hopefully, in the next year. Thank you so very much. And welcome
Thank you
to
very much, Colonel Bose. Thank you very much, Colonel Bose. You are a big force behind this success of Ahmedabad Design Week 2.